Hi, I'm Dawn Stensland-Menti, and this is A New Dawn. The reason, though, I'm sitting behind a dining table tonight is because my special guest is a famous, outspoken South Philadelphia cook known for his delicious homemade Italian food inspired by your mom and grandmom, but his comfort style into pastas and soups, veal and chicken dishes aren't his only claim to fame. Chef Angelo Lutz, also known around town back in the day as Fat Ange, was once a mob associate, and Ange went to prison in 2001 for 7 years, was convicted of racketeering charges, along with mobster, remember Skinny Joey Merlino, 5 other co-defendants. But that life of organized crime is behind him. And Angelo Lutz has recreated himself, his new dawn, if you will, with a legit business, a new Italian restaurant in Collingswood, New Jersey, called the Culinary Cafe. Angelo, it's so good to see you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here tonight.
It's been a while. Back in the day, I was a news reporter at
Yes.
CBS and Fox and covering you when you were on the other side of the law. And
Yep.
How did you get involved in, not that we're going to focus on this, we're going to get the elephant out of the room. I mean, how you grew up in South
Grew
Philly.
up in South Philadelphia. We went to school together, just like I testified. We went on dates together, you know, we hung around together. And at the time, I had a love of gambling. I had a love of food, but I had a little bit more love of gambling. And I was involved in the gambling rackets, and that's what I was ultimately convicted of.
But you always did say you were a cook, not a crook.
Absolutely. Ralph Natale said on the witness stand, he was just a cook. So there, hence, cook, not a crook.
Now, when you went to prison, you actually kept on cooking, and everybody enjoyed.
You'd be surprised they have microwave ovens there in jail, and you know we cooked up. It's holiday season. There wasn't a Christmas Eve that went by in jail that we didn't find a way to put 7 fishes in red sauce, and you know we made ourselves pasta every Christmas Eve, and you know it was an experience. It was a learning experience. It was a growing experience. Met a lot of nice people along the way, and I say this, I've met many beautiful people in my life, but I've met some of the best people I met were the people I met while I was in jail. I guess birds of a feather flock together, I don't know, but you
found inspiration in other words.
Found inspiration, and you know, sometimes you think you have it bad till you're there and you see how bad other people have it and hardships, and you know, you read some of the horror stories. I'm not saying, you know, talk to any man in jail, he's going to tell you he's innocent, but when you look at some of the stories, you just wonder how they're even there.
Now, you, though, had a dream while you were still in prison, right? You had a dream about...
I used to get frustrated at that time. Food Network started with all the stars and everything, and I used to watch everything, and I used to see these people competing. I said, oh, I'm missing out on that. At the time, I was still almost 500 pounds. The Biggest Loser came on. I'm missing out on that. And, you know, I came home from prison, got involved with this cooking thing, did a little bit of online cooking, and I went somewhere to eat one day with journalistic friend of mine, 2 of them, and ate at this place, and I said, I can do this. I said, this is what I've been talking about for years, peasant food, peasant dishes, Italian comfort food. Start searching, found a place on Craigslist, and here we are, the Kitchen Consigliere.
In Collingswood, New Jersey.
Collingswood, New Jersey.
And so, though, your criminal past, did that make it difficult to start your own business?
Very difficult. I had a lot of conditions of supervised release. I wasn't allowed to apply for credit cards without permission. I owed the government at the time $14,500 on my fine. I had gotten a $15,000 fine. And the only asset I had was the home that my mother, who passed away while I was in jail, left to me, only child, no brothers and sisters. And even to risk everything I had, the government didn't want to know anything. They wanted their $14,500 off the refi to start the restaurant. So I had to basically give in to them and pay their fine before they would let me open up a business.
So you did it, and your inspiration, as you said, a lot of the dishes and the influence was your gram and your mom.
It's Italian comfort food. There's a niche and there's a market for this. I mean, this is the food that I grew up on. This is the food that my mom and dad
here.
And I have to say something. I work, and that's my grandmother. That's my mother's mother. And I work extremely hard at this restaurant, and I put in 12, 14-hour days, 7 days a week. I was an only child. I gave my mother and father so much grief that you would have thought they had 10 children. And I work very hard today, because I hope that, it's kind of emotional, but I do have their picture in the restaurant.
Because I know when I was covering you back then,
Yeah.
you even would say to me, your greatest guilt of going to prison
was leaving my mother and her you know, and it's an awakening, you know. You realize you're in prison when your mother's dying. They won't give you extra minutes to talk to her on the phone, and you have to say your goodbyes on a taped conversation because you're an organized crime case, and every one of your phone calls is absolutely listened to. And you know, I live with this every day, and I have a cousin, Patty. She's basically the sister I never had. She buried my mother for me. She did everything for me, and it's I just strive to make this success, so that I know my mom and dad are there. Their pictures in the restaurant every day with me, just to make this restaurant a success and to try and overcome all of everything that I put them through. Like I said, I was an only child, and I gave them enough grief for 20.
Oh, well, now you're making them proud
I hope
from
so.
heaven, right?
And all the people that said I couldn't do it, and they're still saying I can't do it. And I just keep fighting and fighting and fighting.
Got to keep up the fight. You know,
Yes.
when we return, Angelo, we're making a sinful Italian dessert. We're not taking the calories out. You don't want to go away. That was beautiful.
All right. Thank you.